Welcome to this Microsoft Word Advanced course. What we're going to look at in this course are the following. We'll look at forms, keyboard shortcuts, Visio diagrams in Word, charts and diagrams, cross-reference and table of authorities, bibliography and block author, macros, and master documents. So the first part will be forms, where you can see you can create drop-down lists like the one that's displayed. And then we'll look at the shortcuts, creating shortcuts and adding tabs to the ribbon. As you can see, my name there, Steve. I've added that. After that section, we will look at embedding Visio diagrams into Word. And then charts and diagrams, graphs, smart art and photographs, and wrap text is selected there, as you can see. Following that, we'll look at cross-reference and table of authorities, bibliography and the use of block author, and macros and customizations, followed by master documents. And that will be the end of the course. Each section will have a consolidation exercise where you will have to create something or use files that are part of this course that you should have and carry out the instructions within the exercise. The exercises are just practice, so there's no tests involved. There's no pass or fail. If you can't remember how to do it, just go back and look over the video and check again. And that will be the process throughout all the sections. Following on from this section is the first part of the course. In this module, I want to have a look at how to create forms in Word. Now, to create forms, you need to have the Developer tab on your ribbon. If you haven't got the Developer tab, you need to go File, Options, and then Customize Ribbon. And then you can see on the right hand side there's a tick box that you can tick, and then click OK, and you should have the Developer tab. Now, the area that we're going to look at is the controls area of the Developer tab. But first of all, I want to put a table on the screen, as you can see there, just to give myself a cabinet so I can place these controls in a grid. You don't need a table, you can just put them anywhere in a document. But the controls area is where I am looking. Now, I've just clicked on the AA button, which gives me a text control. And if I want to change what is appearing in that area, I need to click on Design Mode. So Design Mode now allows me to change the default text to whatever I want it to be. So you can type whatever there, and once you've typed that, you just click on the Design Mode again, and that comes back to normal. And then that's straightforward. People will enter data where you've told them to. Now, the next thing I want to do is a drop-down list. And again, it says choose item. You've got properties this time where you need to go to add the items that you want to see. So you just type the item, click OK, or do your little list, as many as you want. And once you've got the list done, you click OK, and then the drop down arrow will display that list. The next section is to add this little control, which is a building block gallery. If I click on that, it allows me to drop quick parts in there. And if I drop that down, nothing's happening. What I've got to do is go into properties and select the gallery I want, which is auto text. And then if you've got more than one auto text gallery, which I do, you can filter to that gallery. So I'm just going to leave it on all categories and then click OK. And then what should happen here is that all my auto text entries, whichever list I've put them in, all of them will be displayed there. So you can see I've got quite a few different ones that I could then bring into this document. So that's that one. Now I want to use a date picker, which is this one. Just drops a date picker in there. Again, you can change the information at the top if you don't want that. Now, I haven't put any labels across the top because one of the issues with labels is it then duplicates this. Now, I said at the beginning that I might put labels across the top. I'm not going to. So you could just select there, select date. I could change that by clicking on Design and select date, or just date, design off. It's quite straightforward. And the other one that we haven't looked at is the yes no tick box. You're just ticking this on or off like so, and then you've got everything set up. So just to show you, you can put this outside of a table. If I just do a normal text box, there you go, and then you can just type inside of that box. So you sometimes see these on some of Microsoft Word's pre-formatted documents, like a CV document or stuff like that. It's already pre-populated. And you could do the date picker anywhere as well. Select date anywhere in a document. Didn't pick the right one. Pick the date picker, would help, that one. And then you've got the date, and it puts the date in there for you. So you're not restricted to a table. I just use this table as a grid. Now, if you want to restrict editing, you've got this option here where you can click on restrict editing, and then you've got these tick boxes which you can limit, allow. If I click on that, filling in forms, it allows. However, if I click on that and I start enforcing, it's going to ask me for a password. I'll just click OK. I'm not going to put a password in there. What you get is this gets grayed out. So if you've used this option, you can't then use the restrict editing feature because it doesn't allow you to select anything. If I stop protecting and take that tick off, get rid of this, it's all back now. I can select what I want from that list. So it's up to you how you want to work that, but this is how to create a form. So you've got lots and lots of different ways of creating forms inside documents, inside letters, inside reports. You can put these fields in and it makes the thing easier to fill in. But that's all I want to talk about in this session. See you on the next one. In this module, I want to show you how you can create an invoice where you can pull customer details, products into an invoice, and also have the invoice automatically adding up the totals. So as you can see on the screen, I already have an item, advanced access, quantity one, price, and the VAT and the total there, and at the bottom the totals are being added up, and then I've got a customer here. So if I just get rid of this customer and select a different customer, so that was Dave Brown, let's go for Dave Smith, different customer, and let's get a different course. So I'll click on this one, select a different course, intermediate access, and let's do another one. So if I just copy this one down onto a second line, just use my control key to copy that down and then change that course to something else, intermediate Excel. So there's one of those. The price for that is also $250. Should put the zeros at the end of those to make it nice and neat. Now everything else should automatically update. So if I do Control A to select everything and then the F9 function key to update fields, you can see the prices come in, the VAT came in, and the total came in, and then down the bottom it picked up the totals. So how have I done all of this? Basically what I'm using is the auto text feature for customers and courses, and then just calculated fields in the table itself for the sums. So what I'm going to do is create a brand new document, and then what you do before I do that, you would save this as a template with it all cleared off, and then you just open it and you'd better use that invoice, and you can add as many customers to this as you wish. There is no limit other than the size of the file itself, and that is quite big, so there's quite a lot of auto text entries you could do. Now this is a Word example. Obviously if you've got Excel you've got far more scope, but I'm doing Word, so that's what we're doing. Now if I get a blank document and just start from scratch, so basically the first thing is to create yourself a little table. Just drop a few in there and then just make a space so you can do your invoice number and date and time, or date. So I inserted a date from the insert tab, date and time, and I formatted it as that. So obviously that's now too tight, so I'll just make that a bit wider, not too wide. And then what I needed to do in here is merge these two, merge them into one. So going into the merge cell, merge that into one. And the first thing I did was insert a building block control from the developer tab where you've got building block, and you can add auto text entries into there. But before I do that, you need to add your auto text entries. So to do that, I'll show you. I've got a document open here. Now these are already in. So if I just type another customer, so if I say Mrs. Carol Jones, 1 Red Road, Leeds, LE12RT, West Yorkshire. Got that the wrong way around, but it doesn't matter. And then all you do is make sure that's correct, otherwise it'll come out wrong. You highlight this, you go up to the Insert tab, you go to the Quick Parts option, the Auto Text option, and then you can see you can save that selection to the Auto Text gallery. Now it's on General, but I've created a category, create new category called Courses and Customers. So this is Customer, and that's how you do that. And then for Courses, same thing, Introduction to PowerPoint, you highlight it, Quick Parts, Auto Text, Save Selection, and then you put that into the gallery that you've created, Courses. So that's how you do that. And then if I go back to the other document where the table is, you can now use it from the Developer tab. And if you haven't got the Developer tab, you need to go File, Options, Custom Ribbon, tick the Developer tab there. So it's already on. So now on there you've got this option where you can click and it will drop that in. It says Quick Parts at the top. You need to change that, so go into Properties, then you can change that to the one you want, which is that one, Auto Text, and then the category you want for this one is Customers. Click OK, and now when you drop that, it will drop a customer in there, and the one that we just added at the bottom was Carol Jones, so I'll put that one in. Now the same thing applies for Courses, so you need to do another building block, go into Properties, change that to Auto Text, select the Courses category, and then you'll have a list of all your courses there. Now in terms of I'll probably put that in the wrong bit, actually pull that down a bit because I need to do a title here. So this is going to be item, quantity, price, and then we'll have VAT and total. Now I won't repeat every single thing all the way down. I'll just do the bits, a few lines so you get the idea. So quantity is just going to be typed. The price is also just going to be typed, but the VAT needs to be looking at this to do a formula, and so does the total. The total needs to be adding these two together. So how this works is as same as Excel really. I'm just going to merge these two actually. I don't need those like that. I'll probably miss something out, but it doesn't matter. So merge that, and right, we'll do this, back to this one. So this works like an Excel table, even though it doesn't tell you that that is column A, that is column B, not all of it, this bit. This is column C, so the price column is column C. So if I want to work out the VAT, I need to look at C1, 2, 3. Now this is nowhere as dynamic as Excel, but as I've already said, we're doing Word, so we have to put up with what Word gives us. So from the Formulas tab, so I'm on the table layout. From the Formulas tab, you can go equals, so C3 times 0.2, that'll give you the 20%. And then you're going to set the format to be pounds, and then you can click OK to that. And then the total is going to be a formula, which is just going to be equals, in this case, C3 plus D3. Again, the format needs to be as the same. So if I put a quantity in, if I put a product in there first off, let's say in that one, quantity 1, price £250, and then we don't type anything in here. We need to update this with the F9 key. So if I do Control A, which will highlight the whole thing, and then FN, F9, that will put those in. So we know that's going to work. So that's great. Now I need to widen this a little bit, I think, for the courses. I'm going to copy this one down to the next line and just change that to a different course. Come down a little bit. Excel Intermediate 1. Well, let's go for I'll just go for 1. Obviously, if the price is for just one item, you could put a formula in the price column. Otherwise, you're typing that out, but not for now. So I'll just type it out, 250. And then this now needs to be copied down, but it's not like Excel where it would automatically change. What you have to do is highlight it, copy it, paste it. And then same with this one, this needs to come down, highlight, copy, paste. And then we need to change the cell references. So if I highlight it and make sure you get it all, back to the layout tab and then formulas. So this now needs to be C4. Everything else can stay the same. And this one needs to be changed as well. This needs to be C4 and D4. And you'd have to do this all the way down. But you don't have to do it once, because then you'd save this as a template and it would automatically update. So if I just did change this actually to 2 and change that to 500, do the Control A and the F9 key. Okay, then you need to make a bit of space there so you can fit that in. Probably bring this one back a little bit. Now obviously this is what you're going to do all the way down, and at the bottom you need to do some sums. So at the moment I've just got a few rows, but whatever row numbers there are, you would have to make sure the sums pick that up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from there, formula, not sum above, because it would go all the way up. So it's just going to be, let's just do it, get in between there. So it's going to be B, column B, 3, B3 to B5. That's what it's going to be. It's not a number format, it's just to leave that as it is. And then it adds it up. And then this one is going to be the same, but the format's going to change. So I can copy that, paste that in there, and then just adjust that to be in pounds and change the labels across to C and C and change that to pounds, like so. 750 is correct. So then we can do the same all the way across. So copy and paste, and then just adjust those two references. So this will be the next one along, which is going to be D, D, and D. Okay to that one. And then that one's going to be, and this one's going to be that times that, C and D. So it's going to be some, not up, well I could go up I suppose, it should be the same both ways, so I will do. So it's going to be E, E. Okay, so 900, and if you add those two together that's 900 as well, so that's correct. That's correct. Alright, so then what you do is if you delete these courses, delete, but not the actual controls, delete. You could actually delete that control because you can just copy that down if you need it again. So all this information needs to be just deleted, but not the formulas. So just delete these courses. And then if I do Control A and F9 again, that should clear everything off to 0. You can't see this, but it's still there. I'm going to get rid of this person, but leave the control there. The date can stay there. And now this, I could change this. If I go back to the developer tab and click on design mode, you can change this to be whatever you want really. Select our course. Oh, that's quite big actually. Just change that to courses. That's better. Come out of design mode. So it just says courses now, and when you click away, that's all you can see. So that's what you would copy. You click on it, you get the 3 little dots, you copy it down. So this is ready to save as a template. So now you go File, Save, Save As, not a document template, and call it invoice, and then save. Now that should now be available for you to pull over anytime you want it. Now you could also have added your logo at the top like I did in the one I showed you, and your details at the bottom. If I go File, New, first of all it will be in personal. There it is, invoice, and then I can just open one ready to go. It's called document 7, so you just save this as whatever. Now obviously there would be some sort of need to know what number's next. That's something in a different time. So let's do a course, let's do 1, let's do the price at 250, let's do Control A, let's do F9, and it works out for us. Who's doing it? Let's select a customer. There you go. And that's how you can do an invoice in Word. Now just a thing there, look, the font, my default font is Tahoma, but when I did the auto text it was Calibra. So you just need to watch out for that. Otherwise everything is okay. And that's how you do an invoice in Word using some automated features. So thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one. In this section, I want to have a look at how to create a multi-facet CV. Now on the screen you can see my CV. Now what I've got in this CV is different options if I'm applying for different job types. So at the moment this is a training consultant CV, and that's my profile for that type of job. But if I click at the top there, I can switch that over for care manager. The profile I can switch over for care profile, and the skill set at the bottom I can also switch over to show the little chart for a care manager. So this is a CV where you've got multiple profiles, multiple skill charts, and multiple titles, and it's all run from Microsoft, the auto text feature, which you can find in quick parts. So I want to create this from scratch so you can see how I did it. So first off I need to get myself a blank document and create a table where I can put those things in. So basically it was 3-column table, and I don't really want the caption on there, so get rid of that. Now at the top it had my image, so that was a shape. So I flick back to the other one, it's just a circle with a photograph in there. So I'll come back again so you can see what we're doing. So if I just insert a shape, that circle will do. Just draw a circle in there, hold your shift key down, you can get the circle, and then you are formatting that. You are putting a picture inside of that circle. So I'll just put a picture of myself in there. There I am, and then you can see how that sits like so. This column was just made quite narrow like so, and all the lines on this table were removed. So let's just take these off. Now I can't see anything, so I need to put the grid on so I can see. On layout you can put the grid on so you can see it, view grid lines. Now to do the title, so if I go back to this one, so this layout, I'm not going to spend too much time on the layout, but my name and then the title, let's do that bit first. So I can just type my name in there, that's just typed. Now the title is going to be an auto text entry. So on another Word document, I've got some auto text that I'm going to add. I haven't got the titles typed in there yet, but I'll just put them at the bottom. So I'll call this Training Manager, and I'll call this one Care Manager. So this is all the information that I need to add to Quick Parts. So if I just go back to the top, show you that. So that's one profile. That's the care profile and the care stats. That's the training profile and the training stats. So if I first off highlight Training Manager, go to Insert, Quick Parts, and save selection to the gallery. I'll leave it as Training Manager and select Auto Text, and then I've created a category here called CV, which I've now filled up with loads of stuff that I don't need, but I'm going to add this one. Leave it on normal, click OK. Do the same for Care Manager. So Quick Parts, save selection, Care Manager, select the auto text option, put it into CV. Normally it would be in general. Click OK. Right, I've already got one called Care Manager, so I'll just redefine that. And then I'm going to do the same with these paragraphs. So this is the care profile. So save selection, care profile, go to auto text and in CV, OK. This graph is going to be the care stats. So save selection, call it care stats, CV, auto text CV, OK. And then this one is going to be training profile, Quick Parts, save selection, training profile, change Quick Parts to auto text and put it into CV so it's all in the same place. OK, I've already got that one. And then click on the graph, save selection, call it training stats, auto text, CV, OK. Now that's all added in. Now we can go back to the other document. And the first one I want is the title. So what you need to activate is the developer tab. And if you don't have that, you would need to go File, Options, Custom Ribbon, Tick. That's all you have to do. And then that will put the developer tab in there for you. On there you've got some controls in the middle, and these are the ones that I'm going to use. And this top one on the right there, building block gallery content control, it's a bit of a mouthful. That's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to select that. Comes up with Quick Parts. I don't want Quick Parts. I want the auto text entry. So I need to go into Properties, change that at the bottom to the auto text entry, and then change the category. I could leave it on that, but then there may be hundreds and hundreds of items that I don't really want to see. So CV is what I've been using. So I'll select CV, OK. Now when I select this, there's a Care Manager one, and if I come down, there should be a Training Manager, or Training Manager is the one I did. That's the one I did earlier. So I'll put Training Manager in. So there's Training Manager. Now the profile, so if I type profile in this one, and then the same thing happens now. This is now a simple process. You just keep creating these Quick Part gallery options, go into Properties, change what it's looking at to auto text, and then select CV. OK, and then this one is going to be the Training Manager's profile. So if I go down and find that, you can type it in. Training profile, that's the one. And then this one is Education. I didn't really put anything in there. If I just tab, I get myself another little box. So this bit here is going to be contact info, tab across again. Now I want stats, so this is going to be not stats, that's not right, skills. Sounds better. So this is where I need to put my little chart. So I'll go back up to the top, get my building block, change the properties to the auto text entry and CV, click OK, and select the training stats for this one. Care stats, training stats. Either these two really. I'll just click on them so you get the idea. And now it's messed up my little page a little bit, but there you go. Probably need to move that across. Let's pick this up, make it slightly smaller and then slightly bigger. And basically that's how you can create a dynamic CV. So now if I needed to change this to the care CV, so I'm applying for a job that's more care focused, and this is part of my, I could say care manager, profile, I can say care profile, stats, I can click on that and I can say care profile stats, and immediately I've got a different focus on this CV. The education and below that was work info or work history would stay the same. These two wouldn't really change. You could change education with a bit more focus with the same sort of process if you wanted to, but that is how you create a dynamic CV with multiple options on a click of a button. So thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one. This is consolidation exercise 6, where you have to create a form. So it's also a template, so it's telling you to create a template, but the form is what you have to do. So these are on the developer tab, so you need to activate the developer tab from file options, and then you are using these controls, the developer controls. So if I go up there, these are what you're using, these tools here, to insert a little drop down list, and the quantity needs one as well. And then you're creating some auto text entries and you're adding them using this control. So you need to add that control. Then you're creating a second table. You're using the same sort of features. So you want a text control for the name and the status, and then action block, choose a building block. So that's going to be for the auto text entries that you need to add underneath. And then coming down further on, you're doing exactly the same again. Fill in the table using the auto text entries that you've just created. And that's the end of this exercise. What I want to cover in this session is how to create your own tabs and how to create your own shortcut keys in Word. So first of all, to create your own tabs, there's a ribbon. At the moment, they're all the default tabs. The developer tab has been added, which is just a tick box. There's two ways of doing this. You can go into Word options through more commands, which takes you into Word options, and then you need to click on customize ribbon. There you can see it, or you can go file, options, customize ribbon. Both ways brings you to this area. Now, if I just tick this one on, because I did this one earlier, click OK to that, you can see I've now got a tab there, Steve, where I've added some features, common features that I would use. So the whole purpose of doing this is to put all the things that you find difficult to find in all these other tabs in one place, and then you can see them there, and you can move this so it comes into the first position if you want. This is better, I think, than having them at the top there in the quick access toolbar, because although they are easy to see, it's not easy sometimes if you put too many things up there to see what they actually are, unless you're absolutely certain what the symbol does. For example, that one, not too sure what that was. Now I am. And now back into options, so we can do this. Customize ribbon. Take that tick off Steve for a moment, and I'm going to create a new tab. And then it comes up with new tab, and then you need to rename that. So I'll call this formatting, and then you've got different groups within formatting. So if I rename this first one font, and then create another one and rename that one tables, and then create one more new group, rename that one charts, click OK. Then it's a case of bringing across the relevant features into that tab. So let's go for bullets, alignment, center. You don't really want to be putting things across here that are already easy accessible, but for demonstration purposes I'm just going to add these things in to that one, font tab. Now these are just popular commands, so if I go and select some of the other options at the top here, main tabs, so we've got, what can I put on there? Let's go insert tables, so let's have that one across, add, draw table, add, spreadsheet, add, and so on. And then forgot what the last one was. So you've got charts. What can I put into there? I'll just put anything in there. I'll just put page setup, add. Oops, missed. So take that one back and add, orientation, add, and stuff like that. So if I click OK to that, I need to activate it, so it's not there. So go back into it, back to customize ribbon, and formatting is on. Tick on. OK. Formatting is there. So it was on before, but I just couldn't see it. So there's all my little groups, font, table, chart. Wrong characters in there. But there you go. And now I could move that to the beginning if I wanted. So every time I open Word, it will be the first tab that opens. If I just go back and do that, you can see that. So if I click on formatting and move it above home, let's see what happens there. So now it comes up first. Before home, comes up first. Now to do a key command, so I've done a key command already. Alt 3 will create a bullet list for me, like that. To do that, it's the same area, same place. So I'll go back into File Options and Custom Ribbon, and this is a bit down the bottom there. Keyboard shortcuts, Customize, and what you have here is a list of categories and then the commands within those categories. So the Insert tab, you've got different things. Print view, preview tab, file page setup. Has that got a key command? No, it hasn't. But if it did have a key command, it would say what it was. Let's see if I can find one that's got a key command. Right, bold, 2 key commands. All borders, bottom borders. That all border is a key command I've done. Bottom border hasn't got a key command. So for bottom border, you have to click into this box and then give it the key command that you want. So Alt 4 I'm going to press. So I pressed Alt 4, that's unassigned, so I can just assign that. And then close that for a minute, close that, and then try it. Alt 4, bottom border. So do another one, go back in there. Customize ribbon, customize shortcuts, onto the home tab. Let's see what else I can do. Insert. In fact, home tab, I did a bullet gallery. So I did that one the other day, Alt +3, to answer somebody's question. And that would allow you to put a bullet from the gallery in there. Create table. So I'm going to go Alt 5. It's not assigned. And then let's see what that one does. So sometimes the words that come up here are not what you're expecting, so you do need to go and check it to make sure you've got the right feature that you're after. So I'll close that down, click OK, come down here somewhere and do Alt 5. Yeah, it's a draw table it's giving me. That's okay, I can handle that, not too fussed. Now, if you want to reset everything and get rid of this formatting tab that you've created, you go back into it, File Options, Customize Ribbon, and then you can do Reset. Now, the problem with Reset, it's going to reset all of this as well. If I just go Reset Everything, all customizations, so maybe I can just delete things off and leave them off so they're not actually ticked. If you want to reset it, it's fine, but that will get rid of everything. And basically, that's how you customize the ribbon and how you can create shortcut keys if you're doing the same thing over and over again. So quite a few of these options on the top there have preset key commands, as you can see. That one doesn't. Neither does that one, but these ones should. And when you point to them, it tells you what they are. So if you're using something like a font color all the time, you may well want to find out what the key command is for that, if there is one. If there isn't a key command, you can go and give it one. So that's the end of this session. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for your time. In this module, I want to show you how you can bring a Visio diagram into a Word document and why you might want to do that. So first of all, I'm in Word and I'm going to try and do a simple flowchart using the Word tools. So let's have a quick look. Shapes is where I'm going to go. Shapes, it gets a little. I can either use the rectangle shape or further down you've actually got flow chart shape, so I'll just use that one. Draw. And just to make a point, I'm just going to copy this down with my control key and like so. Just need 3 shapes. Now what you have to do there is you then have to link these up like so. Now there's a problem straight off because I'm not getting any circles appearing, and what is going to happen now, even though that looks okay, if I move that shape it loses the connection. There is no connection. So what you have to do in Word to achieve shapes that will stay together is this: you have to first of all insert shapes, create a drawing canvas which is right down the bottom here, and then insert the shapes inside the drawing canvas. I'll just use rectangles, but you see the difference. So again, I'm just going to copy a couple of shapes, 3 shapes. Now watch what happens if I click the elbow connector. I get the circles and I get the circles. So now if I move that around, this stays with it. I didn't connect it to the top one properly. Just pick it up again, sit it on top of one of the circles. It should then be glued into position like so. Now you don't have to do that in Excel, but you do have to do that in Word. You can set the drawing canvas as a default option in Options, otherwise it's not going to be on, and then you would have to do this yourself very manually like so. So that's what you have to do in Word, and even then I'm not getting that top connection on correctly. That's it, I think. If I move that middle one it should stay. Yeah, it does. But they are sitting inside this drawing canvas, and that's how you would achieve a flowchart with connectors that stay together so you can maneuver shapes around the screen in Word. Now if I just close that off, if I do Control A and delete everything, delete the canvas, so I've got no canvas. Another way of doing that, a better way I think, is you can go Insert Object, which is over here, Object, and then if you've got Visio already created you can search for it, or if it's going to be a blank one you just scroll down for it, which is what I'm going to do. Visio Drawing, that one. If you've got an older version, that one. Okay, and then it will embed a Visio diagram into this Word document. It gives you the options down the left hand side of different categories. There's flowcharts. I just want a basic simple flowchart, but there you can see there are other ones that you could select, so just click on this one and then it will load that stencil. And just go back up the screen a bit. Just cancel that off. Okay, so it's just had a window open there, so just need to close that down. And then here is the Visio stencil or diagram embedded into this Word document, which I just need to make a little bit bigger. Obviously it can't be too big because of the size of the page, but let's have a look what happens here. I drag a shape, that's going to come onto the screen, and if you activate the connector tool, what you can then very quickly do is just put shapes in there and it will connect up automatically whichever way you go. And then you've got this little tool, so I could go that way and then I could come down, do that one, and then come back across, do that one, and then if I want to I can come down and draw a line there manually. But very quickly I'm able to draw a diagram, and if I knock the pointer tool on, then you can just type in there whatever your process is. These are decision symbols, so yes, no, step 2, and so on. Step 3. And you can see how this works. And then when you've finished with your diagram, you just click back onto your Word document and that will be embedded into the diagram, like so. Now I've gone a bit over there, so I need to go back into this and just reposition these. Now to go back into this, you just double click, you're back into Visio, and you can see I've gone off the page a little bit there, so if I just move these up, move this one back onto the page. So you are limited in the size of a diagram, but to be honest, it is a lot quicker to do a flowchart in Visio if you do this than it is to try and play around with the drawing canvas and the shapes and then the connectors, whereas these snap into place. So for a very simple quick diagram, this is your beast. Click outside and there you have it, and if I click on it you can see the object in there, and then you just save that as normal. So that's just a very quick overview of how to embed a Visio diagram into a Word document. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. In this module I want to have a quick look at how to create a graph and how to use diagrams and pictures. So first of all, how to create a chart using insert and chart. Now when you click on the chart icon there, you're presented with all the different types of charts that you can use. These are all the same graphs that you would expect and you would see in Excel and PowerPoint. It's the same package, so you just pick whichever type of graph that you want. So for this, or you may have a template. I don't have any templates, so I'm just going to pick a clustered column graph. Just double click on that or click create, and then you get two things appearing: the default chart and a little spreadsheet, which is where you're supposed to put your information. Now you can edit this data in Excel if you want, but I'm just going to leave it like this. So I'm just going to put some categories across the top: men, women and children as my categories, and then some years, or as my series should I say, and then some years as the category. So 2018, 2019, 2018, 2019, 2020 and 21. Those are my categories. And then when I click away from this, back onto this, we can see first of all it's already created the graph as you've typed it. I click away, I can close this, and there's the graph. I can give it a title. I don't know what I'm going to call this, just stats. And there you go. And then you can format this in the same way as you format a chart in Excel. You've got your design features there and your format features. Design gives you lots of pre-formatted designs. hover over them. Live preview shows you what they would look like. Go for that one. Down the right hand side you've got wrap text, layout options, so you can wrap this around text. So let's see what this looks like. If I add some text, I should have some auto text on here. Type intro. No, so I'll type rand. That gives you some random text, and then you can bring this chart into that text, and then you can change the layout options of this chart inside of this text, like so. So that's what this is for. You've got a plus there which gives you options to add different things, like the table, which is what you had when you had the little spreadsheet opened up. Probably need to adjust some of this. This bit needs to come up a bit. Oh, this lit, that's a bit better. And the table's probably taking up too much space, but you get what I'm trying to do. Make that a bit wider. There you go. And other things you can do in there is data labels. I'll put them on. Data labels. Then you've got this little paintbrush, which does exactly the same as the design tab at the top. Gives you these different features. And then you've got this little filter option, which gives you the option or the ability to filter elements on or off. So if I didn't want the children, for example, I could take that off, apply. Now it's just showing me these two, men and women. And then if I want that back, I click on it, apply, and then it all comes back. On the format tab, you can change the format to this if you want. If I went into shape fill, picture, it would allow me to put a picture in the background of this graph off my computer. So I've got some photographs, examples, or have I? Archive photos yet. Put my daughter in the back of there. She won't like that, but there you go. Or any photo you like, you can put in the background. Now, if you double click anywhere on the graph, you get the format of that area. So I double clicked in the corner there which says format chart area. Fill option, so you've got no fill, solid fill, gradient fill. I don't like that at all, so it's looking a bit grim, this is. So what you need to do here is maybe change the colour to a darker colour, and then move that down a little bit. So you're just basically creating gradients. And then if I go for a really obviously different colour, you can see how that works. And then the bottom one probably, in fact I'll get rid of that one, so the red comes all the way down. Maybe I will put one there and change it to black or something, so it darkens it towards the bottom. So that's the gradient fill. And then you've got the picture, which will put the picture of my daughter in there, which is a bit intrusive. You can't actually see the data. So what you've got here is a transparency option. You can just push that over. Too far, not 100%, like so. And again, we're going to have to change the font, the style. If I go to format, you've got different options. You can put that to black. That stands out a little better. The table lines, you don't really need to do anything with them. But that's just playing around with the background. Pattern fill is not something I would go for. These are more for when that looks terrible, so I'll just not do that. I'll keep it on picture. I'll go to no fill for a minute. And that's how you adjust a graph in Word. Now if I get a new document, you can also copy and paste the graph in from another program like Excel. So if the graph is more complicated than that, what you can do is you can open a graph or a document that's got a graph in, or a chart in Excel, and then copy and paste that graph into Word. Now you can copy and paste it as a standalone, or you can copy and paste it as a linked chart, which means the data changes in Excel, you will see that change in Word. So I'll copy this first off, just copy, go into Word, paste, straightforward paste. So there's my graph. Double click on it, you're formatting the graph as I've just shown you there. Now if I delete that one and do paste special, so I've copied it still, so paste special, paste link, and then pick the top option, OK. Get the same graph coming in, need to just adjust the size of it a little bit. Now watch what happens. If I go back into Excel, and I'm going to delete a load of these figures in Excel, delete, so that graph's changed, come back into Word, and it's changed there as well. So that's paste special, paste linked. That's how that works, and that's quite a common thing in business to do that. If I go back into this and just go undo to bring all that back, so that's back as it was, and then I shall close that one down, Control W, I'm not going to save any changes, back to Word. I'm going to delete that. So those are just a couple of ways of doing a graph. So if I just get the first one back on the screen for a second, if I just get a blank graph, and then close that. So if you need to edit this data that I've just cancelled off, you've got the edit data at the top there, which brings it back up. And also if I drop the arrow down, you've got the option to edit the data in Excel. Now when you edit the data, wherever you edit the data, this is what the graph is looking at, this space. If I just close this, and I'll just show you in the other option, so if I edit the data, if you need more space, so just make that a bit bigger, or less space, so say I don't want these categories 3 and 4, what you have to do is push that up like so, and then you can delete these off, so it's now only looking at that. If you don't want that series 3, you go like that, and then it's just showing you those two options. If you want more, like another series, you have to do the reverse. You have to expand like that. That's how that works. And again, you can do that in Excel. So I'll close that one off and delete this graph. Now, in terms of using the Smart Art feature, Smart Art, there's lots of really cool diagrams in here. Category at the top, all, then it's list, processes, cycles, hierarchy, relationship, matrix, etc. all the way down, different options that you can bring diagrams from. So if I go for hierarchy first, and I'll go for an organizational chart, click OK to that. So this is the default. I don't want that one, so I'll click on it, not in it, there's in it. So now if I was going to press delete, it would think I was going to delete text. Now it's going to delete the whole box. I'll just press delete to get rid of that. If I want to add a shape, I just need to click on the level, so that one's highlighted, and then at the top left you've got add shape, add shape, add shape, and then once you've added the shapes, again you click onto the management level, and then you can go to layout and set that standard like so. So if I just type some information in it, MD, when you press enter, the font reduces so it fits in the box. So Mr. Smith is the MD, say, and then you've got 3 departments. I'll just do this very quickly. Training. Now when I press tab, normally you'd expect it to jump across to the next box, but if I press tab, it just tabs within the box, which I don't want. You can use the tab key, but first of all you would have to press escape, which then just activates the box, and then when you press tab, it goes to the next box. In this case it's gone down, so escape, tab, and then you can type in there escape, tab, and then it goes to the next one like so, and then escape, tab, and you can do it like that. It's probably just as quick to click on it, but it's up to you how you want to do that. Now on the right side you've got some designs, styles, which you can hover across and select the one that you like. I quite like that one, so I'll pick that one. And again, in terms of formatting, if you want all the things that I've just shown you on a graph, you can do into this as well. I'll pick a picture of me, so it's inside that box. If I click on the outside of that, I can go into gradient fill or texture fill or picture fill or whatever I want. Over on the right hand side there I've still got this pane up, so gradient fill, you've got preset gradients, that's coloured the words in there. That's the whole colour, like so. Now let's get rid of that one. Let's insert a different one. Just do one more, because there's certain ones, if I can remember which one it is, I think it's relationship, it is this one. When you type, you can simply type in there, but obviously I can't type into that next box. Now I've told you if you press escape and press tab, if I click on that one, if I press escape and then tab, I can't get into that box. So if I press tab, now it lets me get in there. I can type 3. However, you've got this little arrow on the left hand side where it allows you to type if you can't actually type in one of the shapes. Now if I wanted to colour these in, I can colour these in different colours, but I have to get onto it. Now if I don't want to use my tab key, I'd have to click onto the number 3 there and it highlights it, and then I can select the colour I want for that one, and then the whole thing, maybe this bit of that a different colour again, just so it stands out a little bit better. And then eventually you go mad and the whole thing looks terrible, but there you go, that's how you can format that one. But the main point of this was to show you that, the ability to do that. Let's end with that. So that's Smart Art. Now the other thing I want to show you is just basically grouping shapes together. So I'm going to bring some shapes onto the screen, and once you've brought a shape onto the screen, you can use this feature from the Format tab to get other shapes. So if I just do another one, and do a circle. To get a circle, because it's an ellipse tool, you just need to hold your shift key down, it turns it to a circle. And then I want a down arrow, say. Click on down arrow, draw a down arrow. So I've got lots of different shapes. Again, each of these shapes you've got the ability to put a picture in. Put a picture of my dad in, and you can see that there. And I'll do it on this one, just do one more, shape fill, picture, online pictures or from icons. I'll just have a look at icons. There's absolutely loads of different icons you can select from, so I'll pick a dog, that'll do, insert, picture of a dog in there. So if you're doing any sort of flowchart diagram in Word, you can use these sort of images to do that. But what I want to do on this one is I want to click on each one, hold my shift key down, and then I want to group them so they're all one set. So I can right click and select group, or it could go up there and do it on there, but now that's just one thing. So when I move that around, they all move together, so I've grouped that as a set, if you like. So that's shapes, grouping shapes. You can still change the colours on these, but now you're doing it as a set as opposed to an individual thing. And if I come down there, you've got outline, just the lines around them you can change, and you can see it changing as I'm hovering over these things. And then if you want a border, thicker border, you can see that and click on that like that, so they made a thick border. Shape effects, just preview basically what you want and then see if that is what you want. I quite like that actually, so I'll go for that one. So that's shapes. Now the next thing I want to do is just get rid of them and get myself some text, so I'll just go equals rand. Now if I put a 1 in, it means 1 paragraph and 5 sentences. That's what I want. Because I'm going to insert a picture inside there and do wrap text on a picture, which I've already done. So insert picture. Now I should have more pictures than this on here, so I'm just going to go into examples. What's in PowerPoint? No pictures. Documents. Okay, just cancel that for a second. Insert pictures. Go back to where I was. Examples. Archive photos. Okay, so I've got loads in here. So let's go into general. And let's pick Julius Caesar. Big picture. Make it smaller. So when a picture comes in, it comes in as a chunk of text. So I press enter. You can see that this is a chunk of text. Now that is stuck. That's anchored itself to that line. So I'm just going to change the wrap text option to that one, square. So now I can move this around now. So always think of a picture when it comes in as a paragraph. It comes in like that as a paragraph, and it's treated as a paragraph, and you can only move it down the page if there's been if somebody's pressed enter down the page or you've pressed enter down the page yourself. Otherwise you have to select a wrap text option. So these are all the different options, and then you can send it behind the text and things like that, or over either side, however you want to do it. That's how you insert a picture. Now in pictures, on the format, I quite often use this little background options. I quite like these. Put it on that one. We got a little shadow. Now you can format all of these. You can change these. You can remove background if you want. If you wanted to remove background, mark areas to keep, mark areas to remove. I'm not going to remove anything. I'll just keep changes. I just removed all the things that was highlighted. Okay, that's all right. Chopped a bit of his head off. But if I click back onto him, you've got color options, so you can change these color options. Quite like that one, or you can use these sort of faded out options. That's a good one. I'll use that one. Effects on that. So as long as live preview is selected in options, you can do this. If you took that off, you don't get this option, which is pretty pointless because then you can't actually select or see what you're going to select. You'd have to keep clicking it on and off. I'm having that one. Transparency. So this is to fade it out a bit if you wanted it in your header and footer maybe, like so. Now talking about putting pictures in headers and footers, if I just insert another picture, and this time I want to get a little dragoon man in this Waterloo folder, dragoon. So I want to put him in the header, so I'm just going to cut that and get myself into the header, double clicking at the top. Now if I paste the dragoon, because wrap text is not selected, it makes the header space as big as the picture. However, if I go and select wrap text behind text, it then doesn't affect the header size at all, and you can position him wherever you want. Now if I come out of the header, double clicking out, you can see there's my little dragoon, and he'll be on every page because I've put him in the header. So if I create a new page, Control Enter, there's my dragoon on every page. So your logos is where what you'd do there. You put your logo or your company information, if you wanted it on every page, to be in the header like that, and then you make sure if it's a picture or an image that you have wrap text on. So that's the end of this little session. Hopefully you enjoyed that. So we've just basically covered charts, basic charts, formatting charts, and smart art, shapes and grouping, and then inserting pictures and wrap text. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for your time. This is consolidation exercise 7. What you need to do is create a couple of auto text entries on the first bit, then you create in a blank document and saving it as a template, and then this is how the template should be. You can use any photo, even though that's my granddad, you can use any photo. You then need to close that template and see if it works, so make sure you save it as a template, and then to open the template you go File, New, so don't open the recent file new. Then you're creating this organizational chart using smart art objects, followed by this graph, and then you insert this picture or any picture. If you haven't got this picture or you can't find it, any picture, and wrap text so it goes behind, and then you are adding these shapes and you're grouping these shapes so they're all one shape. So grouped and move as one object. Okay, so that's the end of that one. In this module, we're going to look at several things. First of all, how to customize the quick access toolbar and the ribbon, how to create shortcut keys that are your own, and then how to do very basic simple macros. So first of all, how to add things to the quick access toolbar. So this at the top is a quick access toolbar, and you can see when you drop the arrow down at the end that you have some preset options. For example, email, that's a good one to have. If I click this button, it will automatically email this document to whoever I want to send the email to. And you've got some other features in there that you can add, like open and quick print and print preview and so on and so on. And then the spelling check F7 is a key command there. You can see you can add all these up to the quick access toolbar. In addition to that, you can, if you so wish, right click on any button. So say I want the font color up there. If I right click that, I can say add to quick access toolbar, and then it appears at the top. So and if I don't want it, I can right click and remove it. The point of doing that is if I am on a different tab and I then want to do email it or open something else, or in this one I've already got there, screen clipping, I don't have to go back to the relevant tab to find that feature, screen clipping, because I've got it there. I've also got on mine borders, because I'm constantly putting borders on there, so I've got a click button to get into borders and shading, and I've also got a crop feature which is grayed out at the moment because I haven't got anything to crop. So whatever you do a lot of, you can add it up to the quick access toolbar. Now the other way of doing it is to go, of course, into more commands, which is word options, and you can select from the massive list that's there. But I find it easier to go through this, find things that you use a lot, right click and add them up there. So that's the quick access toolbar. Now in terms of the ribbon itself, if you go into more commands there or go file options, that will take you into the same place. You've got the option there to customize the ribbon or the quick access toolbar. So this is the long way around of doing it if you like. So customize the ribbon. You've got popular commands listed here, and then you've got commands not on the ribbon, which there are quite a few in Word, things that may have been on other versions but are now not on this version. You can see there's hundreds and hundreds of options there that are not on the ribbon but are available to use. And then you've got all commands, and you can see also you've got all the different tabs you can select from as well. So to create a tab, if you like, on the ribbon, so one of these, home, insert, design, etc., you can just click on new tab, and then you get a tab name which you can use. Let's just call it Steve, and then you can create groups. So if I call that formatting, so I've got a tab with a group on, and if I just click on there and go new group again and rename that, I can have this one as, say, tables. And basically you're building up a tab that you can then add things to. So in terms of formatting, let's go back to popular commands. Align left, I don't particularly want that on there, but let's put that on there. That's formatting. Bullets, copy, center, just a few items. And then on the other one, if I just minimize that down, on tables, I might want to find something to do with the table, draw table, add that, and so on. You get the idea, I'm sure. And if I click OK to that, that tab then appears at the top, and those two little sections or groups that I did are sitting there with the features that you might want. Now, if you think you've messed everything up, the good news is you can quickly go back into this and clear this off. I'm not going to do this, but I could click reset all customizations. It will get rid of any of these you've done. Plus, it will reset this to the default, which is just undo and redo and save. So be careful when you do reset that you actually do want to do that. You can tick these things on and off. So if I click that off, now it's back as it was. So you don't need to delete it if you're not quite sure. Don't go down the delete route. Just take the tick off or put it back on again. So that's how you customize the quick access toolbar and the ribbon. Now, key commands is also in this box. So you've got keyboard shortcuts there. So that's things like Control B, Control C, and things like that. If I click on customize, you've got a whole array of different options, different tabs where you've got the information on the right there when you click on these. And if you click on any of these, like lock document, if there was a key command allocated, it would show it there. So if I go to the home tab, bold there, look, Control B or Control Shift and B. And then border left, hasn't got one. Outside border, border outside. Let's go for border all. So if I want to do a key command for border all, I select it in this box, I click in this box, and I'm going to go Alt B. So it tells me, so I actually had to press the Alt and the letter B key on the keyboard, which put that in there. It's telling me that that is unassigned, so I'm going to assign that now. So Alt B will be borders all. So let's just check that works. Click OK to that. Click OK to that. Just type some text. And then I did Alt B and it put borders around all of that. So if I highlight some of that, it'll just put the border around that little bit. So that's how you do a key command. Let's do another one. So I'll go back into there, options, customize ribbon, customize. I'll come down further. You can see all these things you've got, all these different options that you've got coming down. Commands not on the ribbon. This is one that I use a lot. Applying a heading style. So currently the heading style is Alt plus Control and then the number 2. So I just want it to be Alt 2, which again is not assigned. So I'm going to assign that, assign, and then close, and then just check that works. So if I highlight that, in fact, let's delete that. So if I do Alt 2, heading style is applied, and then I can type. And then when I press enter, the heading style is off. So I'll do that again. Alt 2, heading style is on. Press enter, heading style is off. Carry on typing like that. So there's a key command allocation. So you don't need to allocate key commands to every single thing. It's just things that you do quite a lot, or that you find yourself clicking down into different things, you know, or you're going into advanced tabs and try to find something and you can't quite remember where things are. It's worth your while, if you're doing that a lot, to go and find where that is in the shortcut list and then allocate a key command so you can simply apply the key command to activate that feature. So that's customizing the quick access toolbar and the ribbon, and also doing key commands, adding key commands. But also I want to cover basic macros in this little session. So I have added the developer tab, because on the developer tab you have a group that says macros called code. You've also got it on the view tab, macros, so you can actually achieve what I'm going to do today through this box. But to get the developer tab on, if you haven't got it active, you go back into file options and customize ribbon, and you just tick the developer tab. It's there by default. I haven't created that. You just need to tick it on. And then click OK, and then you'll have the developer tab. So basically, macros are just automated routines, things that you do quite a lot, or you want to activate quite a lot. So it could be something as simple as going file print and selecting 2 or 3 copies, or current page only. Whatever you do repetitively, you can create a macro to do. And then as you get more involved in Word, you can go and learn Visual Basic and create some code that's going to do some fairly complicated tasks. But for this session, we are just going to go through the very basics, create a very simple macro, add a button to the quick access toolbar, and then you can see how it works. So first of all, I'm going to record a macro as opposed to typing the code. It asks you to name the macro, so I'm just going to name this my name, and then you've got two options here: a button on the quick access toolbar and one on the keyboard. You could also put the button on your tab if you've got your tab active. So I'm going to just click this option, and then it gives me this macro Steve, where I can add it across to the quick access toolbar, so it sits like that, and then you can modify that and get rid of all this information, so I don't need all that there, just so it says Steve, and then give myself a little smiley face as an icon that I can click on, like so. And then once I click OK, it is now recording everything I do. So I'm just going to type my address block, which is not my real address. There's a typo straight away, look. Now it's actually recording everything you do, so try to have a thought process before you start typing to make sure you don't make too many mistakes. It is quite forgiving, and you can actually edit it afterwards if there is a blatant mistake that you need to correct. PD2 4RF. So let's say that's all I want. I then stop the macro, and if I delete that off, every time I click the smiley face, I get my little name coming up like that. Oh, and it's recorded the actual mistake, look, because I typed that in the wrong place. I didn't even notice I did that. So let's try and fix that, shall I? If I go into the Visual Basic, and this document, let's get rid of properties. Okay, Mr. Section, so selection type S, so that's the thing there. Now it's not a mistake in terms of the macro, but this is the code that you can actually look at. I'm just going to delete that off and then see if it fixes it. And put a capital S there. I'm going to save that and then just close this window and see if I've fixed it. And you can see that I have fixed it. So all I did was delete the typo that I made while I was recording. So that's I didn't do that on purpose. It's an accident, but it is a good teaching point because it showed you quickly that if you don't plan out what you're going to type, or if you make a mistake when you type in, that you will have to correct the macro or do it again. You can't just leave it like that. Obviously, it's counterproductive if you have to keep deleting, in this case, an extra S that I typed at the end. But that's the end of this little session, guys. If you want to know more about Visual Basic, there is a whole course on Visual Basic that could take you a week, and you would have to keep doing it constantly to keep remembering how the code works. But as a simple macro, that is how it works, and I hope you've enjoyed this session, and I thank you for your time. I'll see you on the next one. This is consolidation exercise 8. In this exercise, you're just going to record a macro of yourself typing out this memo, and then you add the button to the quick access toolbar. So it's quite a simple exercise, and that's the end of it. This is a document where I've got heading style, so you've got table of contents where you can create on the references tab a table of contents, so it drops it in like so. We've also got, next to the caption, you've got this feature, cross-reference, where you can cross-reference from one item to another. So what I want to do is, let's just say I'm there. I want to cross-reference to another heading style somewhere. So if I select the option, go up to heading, and then you've got heading text, or you can just go above or below. So I'll do below, and then say I want it to link to chapter 3. So insert, and then if I close that, this is just basically another hyperlink. So I can type C below or C chapter below, and then people can click on that to go to that chapter 3. Now, the other features that you can use cross-reference to are page numbers, headings, and also footnotes. If you insert footnotes, if I put that there, and put not 2020. There's a little hyperlink again, which if you click on that will take you to the footnote. I'll show you that, what it is. So there's a footnote, if I can get it to show. There. Now if I want to do a link to that, to the footnote, which I know it's no point in this example because you can see it, I could do a cross-reference to that. So cross-reference to footnote, and just below insert, and then you could do see below there again. Oh, I've put above, I should have put below, doesn't matter, you get the idea. But that then is a hyperlink to the reference number, but you can actually see the footnote there. In this session I want to have a quick look at how to do a table of authorities. So I've gone onto the references tab at the top there, and this is the part that I'm going to look at. So if I double click on a word and then go to mark citation, this gives me this box which floats on top of the document, and then I've got different options that I can select in here. So if I select cases and then mark, it will mark that case, and as soon as it does, I do mark, it puts the show hide on as well. So I now can go through this document and mark, even though it's grayed out, I can click on mark and it will mark the cases. Now the words I'm selecting are irrelevant, it's just a process that I'm going through. I'm just using a random document to highlight stuff, but it doesn't actually mean anything, these words that I'm selecting. Now when you've done a few cases, you can go next citation and change cases to something else like statutes, and then you go through the process again. So I could mark that one, and now we're doing a few statutes in this document, and then mark that one, and then I want a new citation, change it over to treaties, and then I'll highlight another word and I mark that one, and another word and I mark that one, and then I'd go next citation and I pick a different one, or you don't have to do any of this, and you can just do everything is the same thing, regulation, and I'm going to go back to the top of the document and pick Microsoft Office, highlight that, and mark that as an entry, and specialist, I'll mark that as an entry. So that'll do. Then I close this box and I get myself to the bottom of the document, and then you insert the table. So the table will pick up those and give you the reference to it. So just come down a line, insert the table of authorities. So you can pick whichever one you want. I want all, because I've got more than one, and then I'm just going to click OK, and it should drop that in there at the bottom there, sectioned off, cases, statutes, treaties and regulations, and there's the page references as well. You can then go home and home, not file, and take show hide off, and there is your table of authorities at the bottom. So that's all I want to talk about in that little session, so I'll see you on the next one. In this module we're going to look at how you can insert a citation. Citation, add new source. So let's add a book, and I will be the author, and the book is called The Door. It was written in 2008, Cramlington. You don't have to fill all this information in if you don't want to, it's totally up to you. And that is I'll just OK that, and then you get the citation appearing there. So if you had some text, just get some text there. I could now go insert citation, there's a short reference to it, puts it inside the text like so, and then if I want to add a bibliography at the bottom or at the end of a document, I can then select this option. Before I select the option there, you've got these different formatting styles. You've got also different styles there. I've selected this one, Harvard, but there are lots of different styles. So I'll leave it on that one. And then you just click this button and select bibliography, and it drops it in like that. So that bit there is just a short reference to it. So if I undo that, take that off for a minute. What you've also got is this little drop down where you can add, if you want, just placeholders, so you know you're going to do a citation. So if I click into there, for example, and I've just typed the word glimpse, but I want to do a citation, but I haven't got it added yet, I can just put a placeholder like that, and I can give that a name if I want. If I click OK to that, it just puts that in there. And then you can later on just edit this and add a citation as you wish. So that's inserting citations, so you can create a bibliography after a report or a dissertation. What I want to look at in this session is a new feature called block authors. So let's get rid of that. So you can see on the review tab here, block authors. So what this allows you to do is stop us editing a block of text when you've not finished. So basically I'll just type in some auto text and get some auto text on the screen. So let's say I don't want this changed by anybody. I can highlight that or part of that and then just select block authors, and then you get this little notification there. Will stop anybody over typing this while you're still working on it, and then you can knock this off once you've completed it, and then that will allow people to edit a document. So that's basically how it works. So let's see what you'll get in terms of using a shared document. So what I've got is, if I go onto my team site, I've just uploaded this document. So let's see if I can get this open. And what I want to do is open it in the desktop app. Which it did. Okay, it took a little while. So let's say I'll share this with Ashley. So I'll just share this with a colleague. Ashley and is in this team anyhow, so we should see this. Highlight that block and then go onto the review tab and block authors for that block. So this is on auto save, so it's part of Office 365, it's saving it still. And then once it's saved, I will close it and then I'll log on as Ashley. There it's saved, so I'll just close that down now, Control W. I'll go back onto the internet and I've got Ashley logged on a different browser here. So if I just come out of this and go into that and just refresh this window so it picks up that file. So under manual, under files, there's that align file. So if I open that, and now you can see when I open this file that I get a little indication there, paragraph locked by Alana Saxton. So basically, if I try and type on there, which I'm trying to do now, it won't let me. If I try and type there or do some formatting, it does let me. So until Alana unlocks this, meaning she's finished in this paragraph or this section, if you're doing a big document, I can't do anything to that. Even if I didn't like what she was doing, I'd have to get in touch with her and tell her to unlock it. And I would only be able to do that if I was her boss. So that's basically what that block authors feature does in Word. I think it's quite a cool little feature when you're collaborating on documents. But that's all I want to talk about for this little bit. So hopefully that was of use to you, and I'll see you on the next one. This is consolidation exercise 9. So you need to open the file called indent 2020 and create 2 bibliography entries, and then insert the bibliography, and then you're marking 2 citations and insert the citations, and then close and don't save that file. So that's just practicing that little bit. And then in a new document, you're creating this table and you're using these formulas. So this is about fields and formulas. So the formulas in there are just using the formula option inside tables. But then you have to bookmark set different elements of these, because further down you're using those bookmarks in formulas to work out this information. So basically you are retyping this paragraph with these figures in, and then these figures need to be bookmarked. Wherever it tells you to bookmark them, you bookmark them, and then you can use that formula at the end. Okay, so that's the end of that one. In this module, we're going to look at how to use the master document feature in Word. So first of all, I have a blank document which I'm going to save as a master document. So I'll call it master for this, and find the folder that I've created for this exercise, which I've called it master. There we go. So I'll put it in there with these other documents. So save that. So I've created a master document. Now to use this, I need to go View and select Outline, and then Show Document, and then I have this feature of Create. So I could use that feature to create a blank document, a blank structure, or this one, Insert, a document that I've already created. So a quick explanation of what this is all about. Think of a book or a manual, or like a health and safety manual or an induction manual for a company, where you have different people working on different sections. So a team could be working on the health and safety section, another team could be working on the finance section of this manual or this book. You want them to work independently on those sections, but in this master document you want to create links to those documents, so you've got a cabinet, if you like, for every part and every element of the document. So if I click Insert, I've already created these sub-documents. You can then bring these in. It's asking me to, do I want to keep the style, so I'm just going to say no to all, and then you see that document comes in as shown. I'm just going to do that for each one. So Insert, so that was admin, finance, no to all, Insert, health and safety, no to all, and then lastly Insert, production, no to all. So now I have all four documents there. If I click collapse documents, you can see the hyperlinks have been created to those documents, and if I click on any of these, which I'll do shortly, you will go into the original document. Now if I go View on this one, in fact before I do that I'll expand all these again. The benefit of doing this, I can create a table of contents, for example, in this document, in this master document, which will cover all four of the sub-documents, which I will do now. So I've put that in the wrong place, so I'll just undo that, get myself in the right place. At the top, insert table of contents, and there you get a table of contents which covers all four documents. Now if I go View, Print Layout, so you see this is a normal document, you'll see all the sub-documents appear in one single document all the way down. The table of contents, update table if I need to, just make sure the numbers are correct. So that refresh there, and then if I save this and then go back into View, Outline, you'll see the table of contents sits there in outline view, and there's the documents. And if I collapse the documents and have a look again, there they sit as hyperlinks. So this one, admin, if I go into admin, so I'm opening up the original document, just going to change something to take the S off that, for example. So this would simulate me working, or a team working on this document. If I save that one and then close this document down, I'll come back to the master document, and then if I expand all of this, you will see, or you should see, that S has been removed. So this is just a cabinet to store elements. It's a very, very good, useful tool. You just need to play around with it to make sure you understand how it works. But that's the end of this session. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for your time. This is consolidation exercise 10, where you have to create a master document, and you can insert these files into that master document. Save the file as your name, and then you can open this file activate track changes on it, do what it tells you to do there, and look at the review pane, change the balloons to show revision line, accept all changes, close the document, use the combine feature to combine the following documents, and so on and so on and so on. So it's quite straightforward, a bit of combination of a few different topics. That's the end of that exercise. This is the final consolidation exercise, so this brings everything together and you've basically got to create what it tells you to do here. So this is all used in the developer tab and controls. So if we go back onto, this is all about using this to create this document. And where it says add a text box control for the signature block, that's basically what you're doing using these. Coming down, you're saving the file as a template, and then record a macro to open it and add the button to the quick access toolbar. So it should be up here. Close the document, create a new master document, insert 3 documents of your choice, add a table of contents and page number into the master, and save and close the master file. Then you open up Indent 2020, create 2 bookmarks, and then 2 hyperlinks to those bookmarks. You're also creating this bibliography, so you need to create one called The Door, which is a book I've written many moons ago, 2008 I think it was. Insert the bibliography table at the end of the document, close the file. Then you open up the table calculations 2020, work out the total and average figures only. Create a new mail merge document using your template. So using this template, and use mail data as the address as a database as a data source. You need to add some rules. So if then else, if it states Sir or Madam, the title field will be equal to Mr. Use if then else to state Sir or Madam if the title field is equal to Mr. So basically that just needs to say if it says Sir, the title should be Mr. Type in your signature block and appointment at the bottom of the letter. Use a fill-in box to fill in your appointment. Remember to tick just ask once, otherwise it'll ask every time. Insert a skip rule if the record city field equals Gateshead. Complete the merge. Close all the files down, don't save them. Create the following template using form controls. So this is back up here. That's what you're creating. And it's telling you to do a drop-down list with these cities. And you want a date picker. The VAT column should work out the VAT based on the price column, so you're working that out. So it's a formula. The total column is price and VAT, so you're adding those two together. You can put some figures in for prices to make it all work. And that's the end of the exercise, and that's the end of the course. So thank you for your time, and hopefully you've enjoyed that and got some good tools or good information about Microsoft Word that you can take to your work or your home life and progress in doing whatever you're planning to do with Word. Thank you for your time.